Hi, I'm Carol Beringer, and I'm the owner of Pilates and More in Wayne, Pennsylvania. This series for the Radnor Memorial Library is called the Amazing Movement Series. And what's amazing about it is that it's unremarkable movements with remarkable benefits, and it is functional movement, how you move day in and day out, and it's for strength and flexibility. So it's a win-win, and we're going to have a really good time just organizing your body. Here we are in March for March MAT-ness, and that's because we're going to do all the movements on the mat today, and all of the movements that we'll do today have built on all the other movements that we've done since the summer, but if you're new to the series, you will be able to do these as well. So in Pilates, and I do, as you know, own Pilates and More in Wayne, Pennsylvania. We have the mat is the most difficult thing to do because you don't have anything but your body and gravity and space to move through. So it's all body control and body awareness. We're going to come down to the mat today, and we're going to be here the whole time, and we're going to do the basic 10 mat movements. And the first month in January this year, we did the ab series, and I call it the Fabulous 5. It's 5 exercises. That's plugged in here. So if you've been with us since January and learned those, you'll be ahead of the curve. Okay. So we're going to come down to your mat, start with a little warm-up, hips, knees, and feet in alignment. Feel settled on your sits bones. Pull up through the pelvic floor, belly away from the shirt. And first, just curl the tailbone under, just warming up the spine. And then stack right back up over your sits bones, reaching the crown of the head to the ceiling. Tuck the tailbone under, pull the belly back, go to your arms, get straight. Come on up, one more like that. And as you may notice, you're going a little further each time, and that's because your spine is opening up and your abs are encouraging it to articulate. Take your arms out in front of you for 3, where you reach the fingertips forward, pull the abs back, push the arms forward to float on up. Pushing the arms forward, pull the abs back in oppositional energy, and then push the arms forward in oppositional energy as you come up, blah. And then one more time. Let's add a little excitement to this by pulling one elbow out as you go and look at it, and then push it forward. Take it back. This is just a little warm up. And inhale to come up. Exhale to go back. And then take both arms over to one side. Exhale. Inhale floats you up. 2 more times there. Trying to keep even on your sits bones, rolling right down the center of the spine. And then the other side. And if you're ever wondering what to do with your head should always follow your spine. You've heard that saying, don't lead with your chin, so you don't want to lead with your head, you want to lead with your spine. Okay, the first thing that we're going to attempt is called the roll-up, and it's the perfect sit-up. So we're going to first start with the hips, knees, and feet in alignment with the hip sockets, which are inside your pelvis. If you can keep your feet down, that's great. Otherwise, you can dig your heels in. You're going to take your arms out in front of you, and you're going to roll back until your shoulder blades tap. And then to come up, you're going to push the arms forward, pull the abs back, and exhale. And keep your gaze, just let your eyes float in your, because if you look up, you're going to put a lot of tension, and that 12 to 15 pound bowling ball is going to put strain in your neck. So we're articulating the spine back, and this is called the roll up. And this is your perfect sit up because you're using all the layers of your abdominals to articulate your spine up and down. Now, if you're struggling, you can always just go back to the holding on to the back of the legs and maybe work your hands down a little further. And that's called closing the kinetic chain. And when we close the kinetic chain, it gives us a little assistance. A full roll-up is going to look like this. Starting on your sits bones, feet, hips, knees, and feet now glued together. You're going to reach the arms out in front of you, settle your shoulders, lengthen the crown of the head to the ceiling to decompress your spine, push through the heels, and roll on down one bone at a time. Shoulders touch, head touches, arms reach to the ceiling. Point the toes, rolling the knees, like imagine it rolling your knees together just so you hug the midline. Come up and look at your shirt, push the arms forward, pull the abs back, and then just keep your head traveling right between your arms. Push through the heels to ground the legs into the mat. Now remember, if you're not ready for this, you stick with the one with the bent legs, and you can take your arms back as far as you can without letting your back arch up. Reach to the ceiling, come up and look at your toes, point them, pull the abs back, articulate your spine up, reach your head between your arms, pulling the abs back. We're not collapsing onto the legs, we're still lifted through the abdominals, which keeps the articulation. And the closer you keep your arms to your ears, also increases the difficulty. We're adding load to the extremities. So we're pointing on the way up, exhaling at the hard part, flexing through the down. Start with your inhale, exhale, all the way down. Last one, reach to the ceiling, point the toes, pull the belly in. And we're going to roll all the way down and stay down for a circulation exercise called the 100. So I'm just moving down so I can get myself centered in the viewfinder here. And you're going to have, and you always want to make sure you're in the middle of your mat. This is another way to check proprioception. You can either put your pinky fingers out to the side, or you can put your feet out to the side and feel that your spine is right in the middle. So we want to have the perfect standing posture while we're down on the mat. Okay, more parts of your body touching the floor is easier. So I'm going to show different variations of this 100. The 100 is 10 breaths, inhaling and exhaling to the count of 5 each time. For 10 breaths is 100 counts of of breathing. And we're pumping the arms. You can either pump them in rhythm with the breath, or you can pump them more quickly. The pumping of the arms adds to the circulation. So we've talked about this upper ab curl before. So let's get it today by taking the hands underneath the round part of the head, hooking the thumbs at the occipital ridge, and pulling your head back towards the end of the mat. Preparing with an inhale, you're going to exhale, lengthen the back of the neck, pick up the head, bend at the breastbone so that your shoulder blades are off the mat. The 100's positions for the arms are you're going to take your arms out, and where your upper ab curl is, where you're in line with your shoulders, that's where your arms are. So we're going to begin with the feet on the mat. You're looking at your belly. Don't look up because it puts a lot of tension and it straightens your spine out. We want to have this flexion in the spine. Reaching through the fingertips, oppositional energy of the fingertips reaching while the breastbone is while we're bending at the breastbone. And you're pretending you're pushing balls underwater and they're popping back up. Now, some of you, your neck might be very tight already because we're used to forward head hang, and to bring it into this other position really lengthens through the back of the muscles. And then you can take one hand behind your head and support it as we did in the stretches in an earlier session where you push the hand against the head and head against the hand. If you do that, switch for the next breath. Inhale through the nose, exhale through a soft jaw, keeping the shoulder blades off. And then if you're ready for the next challenge, one shin comes up into the tabletop position, tailbone is still lengthened down along the mat. You can pull the other one up and squeeze them together to help them hold each other up. And then if you conquer this, you can pull your toes back and push through the ball of the foot to lengthen the legs out. So the further we take things off the ground and away from our center, the more difficult it is. And we're inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the soft jaw. On the next breath, we're going to empty all the air out because we should have gotten to at least 100 by then. Pull the knees in, hold on to the shins. And this is sequencing. Lay the head down next, because if the head went down while the legs were out, that would put stress on your spine and your torso. And then turn your head from side to side. So one of the principles of Pilates is to sequence your body so that your muscles, tendons, ligaments, and fascia are coming towards the skeleton and moving it through space safely. Okay, the next thing we're going for is a single leg circle. So we're going to slide one leg down to the mat. Take one leg up towards the ceiling. Now, this may not be possible for you if you have tight hamstrings. So what you'll do if you're struggling and it's shaking is just slide the other foot in just far enough that you feel stable and comfortable. Arms are long at the side. So this is your steering wheel connection is now wide through the shoulders, long through the arms, long through the back of the neck. Natural curve in your low back, tailbone is lengthening towards the far wall. And this knee is going to stay facing the ceiling, whether it's bent or straight. This is called the standing leg. This is going to be the working leg. And so first, just take your leg across your body and back to center. And a lot of people feel what's called the IT band, get a giant stretch here, or a giant tightness. And then take your leg just out enough to the side that your pelvis doesn't wobble. So we're taking everything with control, and we're reaching everything long. Inhale as you go away from the body, exhale as you come back, and then lower this leg. If you can take it all the way down, you want to push through the back of the leg to lift it back up. And if you can only go this far, that's fine. Your working level today could be different tomorrow. Your working level is different than your children, your mom, your sister, your brother. It's your working level. And so we've gone 3 across, 3 out, 3 down. And then you can keep the leg bent, or you can straighten it out if you can keep control of the up leg, the working leg. So I'm going to show with the leg bent. So in order to make a good circle, we're going to connect the dots of those places that we traveled, that you want to have the knee far enough away that you have room. So we're going to go across the body on the inhale and push. Exhale, finish the circle. Keep it a symmetrical circle. Inhale to cross over, push, exhale, pulls back. If you have the mobility that you can extend the lower leg, you inhale to cross over and push, exhale to bring it back around. And just 5. A lot of you might be feeling a lot of work in the quad. So we're working to push through the back of the leg so the whole upper leg is working together to make the movement. After 5, we change direction. So if the knee is bent, it looks like this. Out to the side and push. Exhale brings it across the midline. So remember, the stable part of your body is working just as hard to stay stable while the moving parts are going. So that just makes for better functional movement, no matter whether you're sitting at your desk, driving your car, running a marathon. And then when you're finished with 5 in each direction, you're going to pull that knee into the shoulders, still keeping the tailbone lengthened. So oppositional energy, the tailbone going as the knee's coming in. And then you can let go with the opposite hand, pull this knee out towards your shoulder. And then for a nice treat, just cross it over, let the pelvis come up and twist. And if you want to view on the front page of both of my websites, Pilates and More or Carol Beringer, there's a video of the morning stretches. And this is a part of the morning stretch. And when you learn them, it takes 4 minutes. It takes 6 to 9, I think, on the videos, but when you learn them. And then just slide that leg out and just see how differently one side of your body feels than the other. And again, if it's stressful to straighten this leg all the way out, just if this leg is bent, just take it to that one where that's bent. And then organize your spine back into neutral and bring the opposite leg up. So the first thing we did was we took it across the midline, trying to keep the torso stable. So we reach across with the inner thigh, abdominals help come back, inhale and exhale, and then take it away from the body, which is more difficult to keep your torso stable. When we cross the midline, it's easier to stay stable. And then reach the leg long to wherever is your working level. If maybe knees just match, maybe it's only halfway. But now we need to make our circle, so if you have a bent leg, you want to walk it out just enough that you have room to cross over and make a push. And maybe your back of this thigh brushes the other one. But again, a stable torso, reaching the arms long, wide through the shoulder, long through the back of the neck. Inhale to push, exhale to pull. And again, if you feel it here, think of reaching more through the back of the leg, like someone's pulling on your heel. And then reverse directions, inhale to push, exhale to pull. Trying to keep everything else super stable. If the knee is bent, it looks like this. And even if you can do it straight-legged, experiment with the bent leg. It's fun. And then pull that knee into the shoulder. And be sure you're breathing. Take it out. sideways and up towards the shoulder. And again, we don't do anything to pain or fatigue, so this is not a struggle. This is you gradually learning better and better functional movement. Come back to the center. And to come up, I like to hook my hands behind the bent leg, come up and look at the other foot, and just push that leg into your hands to come on up. And the next thing we're going to do is rolling like a ball. So you're going to bring your feet are going to be touching like this, and your knees are going to be about shoulder width. So that activates the inner thighs and creates a little bit more challenge to the coming up and down. So the heels are in, the hands can be wrapped around the back of the thighs. So let's start with that. Okay. Feet are touching, hands behind the thighs, spine as erect as you can be. Then you're just going to roll back over your sits bones, pulling the tailbone under until you feel your low back get a little bit of a stretch. The same thing that we did when we were warming up, but this is just a tighter position. So you're just going to pull the tailbone back. If you're holding on to your shins, this is more difficult. And then you're just going to pick up your heels. And you'll feel your low belly activate. You might be tempted to lift your shoulders, but make sure that your shoulder blades are down your back, your breastbone is lifted, and your head always follows your spine. So where we started up erect, as we curl the spine, you're probably now looking at your toes. Then you're going to pull on your belly muscles back towards your spine so much that your toes lift off. And now gaze at your heels. The arms are active, holding on, so there is energy through the steering wheel connection. And then you just keep pulling back with the abs until you roll to just your shoulder blades and then come back up. Now, if you're holding on to the back of the legs, it's going to allow for some momentum with the shins and the lower leg. Inhale takes you back, exhale up. Keep gazing at your heels. Now, if you're holding on to, if that feels easy, take your hands around to your shins. The higher up easier, the lower you get, the tighter the ball, the more difficulty. Pull the belly back. Roll to the shoulder blades. Now you've taken away the ability of the lower legs to create momentum, so it's a little more difficult in the belly. So these are just ways of improving your movements. And this is like a nice spinal massage. If you're plopping, you want to make sure that you're keeping your nice rounded spine as if you were inside a bubble, and then just pull the belly back and come back up. If you're doing a lot of that plopping, go back to the first movement that we did today where we warmed up the spine. You will get there. Okay, the next thing that we're going to go into is the stomach series, the ab series, because it's not, the stomach's an organ and it was originally called that, but I renamed it, well, I didn't rename it, somebody renamed it the Fabulous 5 because it's 5 exercises, but we're going to just work all the abdominals, bring the knees in, hug, so you're rolling like a ball, but just back here and stayed, and knees into the nose for a nice hug. And then send the knees out so that your pelvis levels onto the mat, your shins are in tabletop, and then we're going to do the single leg stretch. So you're going to push one leg out and pull the other one into the shoulder, and you want to make sure that when you look at this thigh that you can't see your shin or your foot, that they are right in line with your sits bone, which means they'll be invisible. Inhale to one side, exhale to the other, and it's just your gaze. You're not really turning your head to check that out. Oppositional energy of pushing one leg out and pulling the other one in. And again, you can take it higher if you struggle with your low back. Okay, arms are going to go to the ears, legs are going to shoot out, circle around and catch the shins. 4 more. Inhale reaches it out, exhale. And again, find your working level. It could be up here. It could even be up here. Last one. And then take your head down, go side to side. And the goal is that you will never have to put your head down when you get so strong in your upper abs that you can hold your head up at the same time. Okay, nod, chin to chest, scissors, legs go up to the ceiling. And again, the whole idea is you keep the legs straight. So if this is all you have, that's it, that's good. It's about the form. So you want to have good functional movement form, and it will increase in range of motion as you become stronger and more flexible. It's a journey. All right, the double leg lower lift, hands behind the head. Now you can rest your head. You feel the length through the back of the neck. Reach from the sits bones to push out. Exhale, the belly, low belly pulls in. Inhale to reach out, even if it's just a couple inches. If you're ready for a bigger challenge, you squeeze the sits bones together and take it a little further. Reach through the back of the legs and pull them up. And again, you can take them out with the heels together, toes apart, and cross the legs on the way up. And one more. And then let's take the head down, roll side to side, keep the hands behind the head, lengthen your neck, pick your head up to look at your belly, and we're going to crisscross, or elbow to knee. And then we're going to exhale here, inhale, one elbow to knee, exhale through the middle, and try to imagine that you're just lifting into a deeper upper ab curl as you come through the center. One more to each side. And this series you can make more difficult all the time. Take your head side to side, maybe put your feet down and windshield wiper your knees from side to side. And then to come up, if you remember which leg you lengthened out to roll up before, switch them up. And I call this just the single leg extension, because you extend one leg, look at your belly, push this leg in to help you roll up. So that's half of your rolling like a ball. Okay, so we're going to do a spine stretch forward. You're going to take your heels wider than your mat, sitting up on your sits bone. So again, if it's a struggle for you to sit up tall with your legs lengthened, bend your knees and think of just pushing a little pressure into your heels, and it'll still activate the back of your legs. Arms are up at shoulder height. You're going to look down your shirt, bend at the breastbone, that's your upper ab curl, head comes between the arms. You're pushing your arms forward, and the oppositional energy is that you pull your abdominals back, and you'll feel your spine stretch from tailbone to crown of head. And then stack on up, look down your shirt, push forward with the arms as you pull the belly back, shoulders down away from the ears. Inhale to stack up. 3 more, look down, take it forward, stack on up. And again, we're just going for 5. Last one. So we've been doing a lot of movements that are in flexion. So we've been rolling up and forward. Let's come onto our bellies for a little upper back extension. So it's the opposite of your upper ab curl. So you're going to lie on your belly, overlap your hands, put your forehead on your hands, and then wobble your hips side to side so that you can get your inner thighs as close as possible. Now that you're here, pull the belly away from the shirt, and you'll engage the glute and hamstring connection, which puts your pelvis into neutral. So to strengthen our backs, we are always trying to strengthen this bit of neutral spine, because that's where our home base is. So you're pressing your hands against each other on the top, not with a lot of energy, they're just really resting. And you're just going to pick up your nose into the center of your face. So you're going to lift the back of the head up towards the ceiling, and you'll feel a great engagement through your entire torso, and you'll feel the arms naturally press into the mat and activate all around the shoulder girdle. And then just lay that down. 2 more. Pick up the nose into the face, or think about bringing your chin back. So you don't want to be going forward and you don't want your head hanging. It should be right in line with your spine. You're just lifting your head up in line with the spine. 1 more time. Now, pick up your head into that hover. Whatever hand is on top, you're going to pick up that elbow so that the hand touches the forehead, and then lay it all down. Just 2 more like that. Pick up the nose, pick up the elbow, till the whole package goes down. Pick up the nose, pick up the elbow, bring it all down. Switch hands. Pull your nose into your face, pick up that elbow, lay it all down. And you'll feel what a challenge it is to try and keep your torso fairly stable, not wobbling from side to side with your hips. And that's the beauty of this one. Lift the head, hand on, and touch down. Now, come up into a quadruped, and you can either take a cat-cow stretch, or if your knees are happy, you can open your knees and come back into a child's pose. So since we rarely go into an upper back extension, we always release it here in our mat work between the exercises. And as you become more proficient, you wouldn't need to do it as often, but today we will. All right, now we're going to do what's called a saw. So the same thing that we did with the spine stretch forward, we're now going to take the arms out to the side, And you're going to pretend you're pressing down on something on either side and lifting your breastbone through that space. Turn towards one leg. Dive forward towards that leg, but keep your hips down. Keep your pelvis even. So you're going to pull back with the opposite hip socket. Push the back arm to help you come up. So we always want to be using both sides. We're just going to take 3 to each side. And again, the head just follows the spine. Inhale to stack up. Lift tall, turn, exhale. Inhale up through the center, switch, and exhale, last one. Come on up. And then we're going to finish with a little trickier rolling like a ball called a seal. So your feet will touch as we started with the rolling like a ball. Take your hands and dive them through and cup your ankles. And then pull your heels back, tuck the tailbone under, and then pull your belly back so much that you are hovering. And you're going to press your elbows against your inner thighs and your thighs against your elbows to connect all of that. And then you're going to open at the hip sockets and clap 3 times like a seal. And then pull the belly back, lift the tailbone, upper ab curl pulls you up. 3 claps. Roll back, lift the tailbone, keep looking at your belly. 1 more time. And then we'll just come up to finish. Regrouping by looking down, hips, knees, and feet in alignment, big toes across from each other. And then let's just swing it out. And try to do this every day or as often as you can, and your body will thank you.